Hi everybody, I'm back. Apologies, it's been a while since I uploaded a video of any kind really. I've been busy with work and family life again. Basically, I've been busy, I haven't had the time or a quiet house basically. But I'm back, and if you'll see from the thumbnail, it's not about a film, it's more about myself. If you have followed me since the start, you'll notice I have a problem with my speech. I have stutter, which is part of my autism, or as they call it, ASD, Autistic Spectrum Disorder. And it's I swear to God, I did have this planned out in my head, but now recording it, it's just gone a bit... Yes, I have a type of autism called Asperger's, or Asperger's, however they pronounce it. I use both. Some find except for Asperger's funny, obviously, because it sounds like a lot of rude words. But, yeah. I just wanted to basically work. Basically, what I was doing with the work was I was struggling a bit mentally and speech-wise, and I still am at the minute. There's a lot of stress going on, and I think that was coming across in my videos a lot more recently than before. So I just wanted to kind of not really explain, but well, yeah, it is explain, duh. But no, just give a little underline the reasons why and what it's like for me, so hopefully you'll be a bit more, I won't say, I don't know, understand a bit more why my videos, I'll be honest, they're not very good speech wise. They don't flow like I want them to when I'm planning that in my head or when I'm writing them down. But I just wanted to give a bit of feedback and just a point of view really from someone with autism about how they deal with it. My views on my own autism are probably completely different to probably everyone else that has it, or most maybe. I don't know. If you have the same thoughts as me, please leave a comment. It'd be awesome to hear from you and talk about it some more. If not, then hope you've learnt something about what I deal with. But if it's not your thing, I apologise. Yeah, let's start from the beginning, shall we? I was diagnosed 7 or 8 years old, I believe. Well, basically before I was 10 with Asperger's. And then, because what there was anyone who knows about autism will know that there was a big controversy about blaming the Mfmr jab for it. That got proven as wasn't true, but personally I still think it was. The reason, as I've been told growing up, that I was fine up until I had the jab, and then me and my sister, who's also on the spectrum as well, has more severe, but apparently we were both fine until we had the jabs, and then we completely changed like a switch. So I still believe that, to be frankly honest. I probably did have traits of it, but maybe the jab unlocked it. That's how I feel. Just unlocked it and just set it in motion, and yeah, made life more complicated. Oh, so complicated. But yeah, I've died with that. Going through school, through infant school was fine, because obviously there wasn't any signs of it at the time. I was fine. Going on, Primary school is where I struggled a bit more, especially in year 3. I remember, it's going to sound bloody daft, but I remember I couldn't work out, why I couldn't, like how 1 times 2 was 1 or 2 times 1 is 2 or something like that. And for some reason, my brain just couldn't comprehend it for some reason. And I remember just sitting there, bursting into tears, head buried in my arms like that, just not looking at anybody, just trying to block out the whole world. That was in year 3. I can't remember the name of the teacher, but if I did, I'd be quite impressed with myself, really. So that, I had an incident like that in infant school as well. I couldn't remember why. I was getting stressed, and for the whole lesson, I just had my head buried in my arms, just crying, because I can't remember why, but it was something I couldn't work out, or something. And at the time, I didn't have a teaching assistant or a Senko, especially in infant school. Not really that much, or not as much as I remember. Probably did, but personally I can't remember. In that particular class, and I was struggling, so I did that in infant school, and then as I went to primary school, I don't remember. I don't remember my stutter being an issue during primary school or junior school, however, whatever country you're in calls it. It's from basically year 3 to year 6. So from 8 to 12 or 7 to 11, depending what year you were born. I was in 1991, so I was a year behind everyone in age, but I was in the same age. I was in the same class. So remember that. Then I went to secondary school. I would also like to say that in primary I had a lovely teaching assistant called Miss Dines, and she was absolutely awesome to me. She was with me nearly every class lesson for I think my whole of junior school, primary school, whatever you like to call it. She was awesome to me. So people in that job, they do a lot. If you have the right TA or learning support assistant, there we go. They can do a lot of good, and she certainly did for me. And I still remember to this day. I still remember what she looks like. Her voice she was absolutely an amazing lady. Anyway, back to going to secondary. I struggled a lot more. My stutter became more noticeable. I don't know, maybe because as my brain was developing, the misfiring of neurons increased. I don't know, to be honest. I'm not really, as you can tell, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a clever chap by any means. But yeah, it got a bit worse. Bullying wise, there was a lot of bullying, especially because my name is Patrick. I do go by Paddy more because that's the name I got from my sports teacher, and it kind of stuck, thankfully. But Patrick, I was called Postman Pat. There was an advert with a chocolate bar that involved stuttering as well, or like a repetition of a letter. I'll let you guess what chocolate bar that was. And because my last name was Vivian, they thought it was a girl's name. So I thought, oh yeah, it's a funny girl's name. Let's take the piss out of that as well. And his speech and his first name. That's fucking wreck most of his secondary years. And yeah, so that wasn't fun. I was with a Senko, with a special educational needs coordinator, I think. If you had one yourself, please put in the comments just to confirm I was right or if I'm wrong. But yeah, she was alright. I did have teaching assistants. I grew to like them more as I got older. In my earlier years, I didn't really focus. I didn't like being corrected on things when I thought I was right. And my anxiety would build up as well, because that's what I have now, but we'll get to that. So yeah, I had teaching assistants from year 7 to year 11, and then I had one when I went to post 16, which is the year 12. I struggled a lot more with that. My speech specifically, my stutter wasn't as bad then. It's noticeable as per the constant teasing and picking on by little chavvy pricks that are in every school in the country. God bless them, eh? But yeah, it was hard, really. Got a lot of bullying, but by year 10, I was just telling them that they were doing crap impressions of me and could they do better. I just didn't care anymore. I just basically that to them most of the time, and that annoyed them more. So I was like, I don't care. Get a life, you're picking on someone, do a better impression, if not, fuck off, basically. And so I did all that. Then I went to the world of work, and oh boy, was that fun. Having to explain in every job I've had, I do have a stutter, and explaining why I have a stutter, that I interpret things differently, like interpret things I'm being told or that I'm hearing, I could take them the wrong way. Half the time I do, but then that builds up my anxiety, which then builds up on my paranoia, anxiety and paranoia, and they both just go all the way up to the point where I don't trust anybody. I mean, there are people I trust. There are the odd one or two which I truly trust, but most of them I feel they do, and then they can do one thing which, just to say, I don't know, they could do the smallest thing to make me doubt them, and then I don't trust them again. Or they could do one thing just to betray my trust level in them, and then that's it. I don't trust them anymore. I don't trust them with anything. And I was hardworking in a grown-up world with a lot of jobs. Worked in a school, worked in retail, hospitality. Now I work in a very large food chain. I won't say which, but yeah, it's made it difficult, especially when you're working in a big restaurant or hotel or school, and you have working with people. I felt that the older I've gotten, the worse the anxiety's gotten. My heart starts racing. I feel like it's in my throat. Yeah. Most people say, when I tell them, like, most of the time I'm high and like anxiety is high, I'm paranoid. They can't tell. It's like, well, that's because I don't show you. I don't want, because if I wanted to do how I felt inside, I would never get a job. I'd be flying off the handles, telling every boss to fuck off, every trainer or supervisor or manager, shouting at everyone, telling them what I really think. But because of my paranoia and I'm worried I might lose my job, every time I speak out, I stay quiet most of the time, and that builds on the annoyance that I can't say what I want to say when I want to say it at the exact time. And with my stutter as well, it just doubles it, because I can feel when my stutter is coming on, starting, and then I just don't want to. And then I've tried different things. I used to go to a speech therapist in London at the Michael Palin Centre, in London. I can't remember if I said it. See, and my memory's crap as well. I went doing that for years, but I found that absolutely patronising. When you're made to read out a book, a kid's book, word for word, slowly and loudly, it tends to get on your nerves, to be honest with you. And at my age, when I wasn't even 15 or 16 yet, I remember just walking out afterwards going, I'm not going back. I'm not being patronised by a grown-up to read a book like that. So I'd rather not. It's not going to make any difference. I remember being, if you're British, you'll know it, Gareth Gates. He was on X Factor or like Britain, or like a pop idol bullshit show. And he had a stutter, and he overcame it and became like a pop star. But now he's dwindled off. He's gone to God knows where. And kept being compared to him. Oh yeah, well, do what he did. Breathing exercises, they really help. No, they don't. Because, to be honest, I lose patience it's like trying to stay happy and cheerful every day and positive. I can't do that. Mentally, it drains the hell out of me. I can't do it. There are days I have good days, I have bad days. Bad days. I have bad days